In this tutorial, we're going to look at getting access to play a song or a sound file when a form is opened. Now, what I'm going to do is get access to play a song when the form switchboard here is opened. Now, the first thing I need to do is I need to create a sound file that's compatible with Access. Now, Access is going to use something called API to invoke the function of a sound player. So your sound needs to be in WAV format. So what I've done already is, in graphic explanations, my little folder here, I've created a WAV file with a song in it. It's a pretty big file, and I've used a program called Audacity to create that. I imported an MP3 and exported it as a WAV file using Audacity. That's available from the SourceForge website. It's a really good program, and it's well worth getting hold of. So I downloaded Audacity and used that myself. So I've created my WAV file. I've also made a note of where that is. I've written down the path. If you need to do that, right click and go to your properties, and you can see the path here, which gives you everything apart from the file name. Now I'm going to use this file to play when the form is opened. So the next step now, I'm going to close this down, I'll minimize it. I'm now going to go and create a module that's going to set up my API call. So I go to Modules and I go to New. Now in here I'm going to create some code, so I'm going to pause for a second while I do that. And here's the code that's going to set up the API call. Now don't worry, it's a fairly big slab of code lengthwise, but it's actually not a lot to it. I'm not going to explain it. You can just copy and paste this. I'm going to stick it in YouTube. Any one of my students in work, I'll put this on shared documents. Don't worry, you can pick it up from there. Now you can use this now to set up your API call. So all you need to do now is close down the Visual Basic Editor, and that's all set up, ready to go. The next thing now, I've made a module. I need to go to my form, and now I'm going to set up my switchboard so that it plays the song when I open it. So I go to Design, I right click on the form selector, and I go to Properties. And I go down here till I get to On Open, and I click on the three dots on the right here. I choose Code Builder and I go to OK. Now you can see the cursor flashing here, Private Sub Form Open. This is where I need to put my code. So in here, I'm going to insert my code. I'll just pause for a second while I do that. And there's the code. All it says is API underscore play sound, then a space. And then in quotation marks here, I've put the path down. C:/ documents and settings / blah, 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 blah. Right down to where my WAV file is. And notice you've got to put down here the name of your file .wav. And that's the end of my subroutine. And that will point the form at the song I want to play, and the song is this song here. And if you remember earlier, I made a note of where the path was. All I need to do now is close the Visual Basic Editor down and close the form. Now it'll say here, do you want to save the form and save the module? Yes, you really do want to do this. So save them both. Call your module module 1 or module API sound call. Oops, retype that. Sound call, and go to OK. Now what will happen is, when I open the switchboard, it should so that's worked really well. So I'll just close this down now and just prove that it works from scratch. I'll just open my database and go through all the password stuff as well. So I'll just close that down, and there's my notepad where I store my code. And I'll just open up now Access, open up the CD shop. It'll run. No sound yet, you'll notice. Then I put in my username and password. If you need to know about this, look at my previous tutorials. Click on Validate. I'm granted. I'm in. And it's playing the sound. So that's the way that you get access to play a sound when a form is opened. It's fairly simple as long as you know the code. And as I said, if you're watching this on YouTube or if you're watching this in work, I'm going to supply the code for you to use. And pretty much that's it. We're done.